Boom! He's on his back. Hey, heck of a play! That is concentration. Hey, he'll remember that number. Amazing!
All right, here we go. Yet again, another installment of Sportify Arena. I'm here joined with an esteemed, illustrious guest, Shetty for real.
What's up? What's up?
What it do, Brody? How you feeling today?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. And yourself?
Man, I'm blessed. Too blessed to be stressed. But it's a lot of big sports news going on right now. The NBA playoffs, the NFL draft. Those are the main things that we're going to discuss. But if any other relevant sports news comes up, we'll definitely find a way to interject that into the stream. But let's just start off with the appetizers. Game 1 tomorrow, Heat versus the Knicks. Now, let me speak on the Heat for a little bit, bruh. Jimmy Butler has been playing out of his mind in these playoffs. He dropped 56. So a 56 burger that he dropped on Milwaukee. Then he came right back and dropped 42 in Milwaukee and closed them out. So Jimmy Butler has been really a man amongst boys. And the New York Knicks, shout out to the Knickerbockers. They haven't advanced in a playoff series since, who knows, since before most of you guys' kids were even born. Let's keep it a bug. The Knicks have stunk, but they beat on paper a better team in the Cleveland Cavaliers. So now them and the Heat are going to clash. It looks like the Knicks have home court advantage. That game will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I'm looking forward to that Heat-Knicks series. I think Miami, mind you, Miami was out two of their, I'm not going to say star players, but I'll say pivotal players. Tyler Hero broke his hand, and it was one other player. Oh, Victor Oladipo.
Yeah. So they're down two good players and still pulled this series out.
Yeah, so hats off to Miami Heat. What do you think about this Heat-Knicks series, or did you want to add anything to what I just said?
I look at this series and I say to myself, you got a Knicks team now with a new identity. And with Brunson at the point guard, they can be in some games. I think it all comes down to the power forward they got. What's his name?
On which team?
The Knicks.
Julius Randle.
It's gonna come down to him. He's got to perform. He's got to show that he could step up in this moment, because they have a chance to win this series. The Knicks, they do.
Well, they have home court advantage, so technically they should win this series because they're their higher seed.
Yeah. But also, I think Brunson can get his shot still. He can get to where he wants to get.
Brunson has been balling, bro.
He's been balling, and then you got the others that's coming in, that's helping out.
RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett is playing a lot better. Their defense can keep them in games, but when it comes to the Heat, I mean, they're gonna always be playing some good defense.
Correct. Yeah, Pat Riley don't allow them to not play good defense. And let me just do a quick salutations to the chat. We got It's a Hard Knock Life podcast in the building. What's good, Miss Savage? None other than Rush. Salute to the bro. And we got M3, Mr. Knowledge and Relationships himself. Says salute B-Eazy, that dude. Salute to all of y'all. But I agree, Jalen Brunson has been balling. And Julius Randle, I believe overall he is the Knicks' best player. So the Knicks kind of do go as he go. He has been slightly not necessarily injured. He did get injured, and I don't know if he was fully.
He's been nicked up. He's been nicked up a lot.
Exactly. That's he's been kind of banged up with these little knick-knack injuries. So I don't think that Julius Randle is 100% just yet, based on last series. But since they did finish the Cavaliers early, I think that gave him some time to rest. So I think he was able to, reinvigorate himself. So we'll have to see on the court. But Jimmy Butler, I just got to get my hats off to Jimmy Butler. He literally has been the best player in the playoffs thus far. And I would be remiss without saying they were a playoff team. I mean, a play-in team, just like the Lakers. So based on the standards that we grew up with, the Heat or the Lakers wasn't supposed to be in the playoffs. And this kind of why I am starting to like the play-in, because Milwaukee was the number one seed, right? So they should have handily beat the Heat, because the Heat were just the seventh seed. They barely made it into the play-in. They shouldn't even be in the playoffs. That's what some say, right? And what did the Heat go out there and do? Dog the number one seed. So you mean to tell me that they shouldn't be in the playoffs? And where would the playoffs be if the Heat actually wasn't in there?
Without Giannis, you always got to put without Giannis.
Well, Giannis did play. He just didn't play every game.
Right.
He played
that was pivotal for that series.
Correct. I agree. That's what switched the momentum. He hurt his back, had a back contusion. They won the next game, and then after that it was kind of downhill from there. But in these playoff series, they are built off of momentum. So I agree with you on that. So so before we move on, the Heat Knicks, how are you calling that series? What's your prediction? Is it going to be a sweep, 3-1? And who are you calling to win it?
To be honest, just from the eye test, from what I've seen so far, I got to go Knicks in 6.
Wow, you said Knicks in 6?
Yeah. I don't think
Bro, did you not see
can generate enough offense. I don't think they can generate enough offense. I mean, Jimmy's gonna have to do it again and again and again.
Oh, I see what you.
You know what I mean?
You don't think Jimmy Butler gonna be able to do that again?
He's gonna. I think he can hit 30 a game. But come on, he's got to have at least in this series, at least 3 games where he hits 40 or more. You got to have some 40 burgers for them to win this series. And the Knicks are you know what? You can't always count up, but I just don't see them getting past this Knicks team. They just seem a little too fast and fluid. They got some athletes in the matchups. I mean, they got the bigs to go with them. They got the bigs to play around.
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler's got to go for at least 340 burgers.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, he did that against the Milwaukee, so I think that's a fair assessment to say that he would need to do against the Knicks, because he dropped 56 and 42, and even in those other games, I think he had at least 30 something. So.
Yeah, he's been balling out his mind, man. He's been going. Hats off to him, man. He's been going crazy.
Yeah, I could see this one actually going 7 games. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Heat in 7.
It's a guy on. You know what? There's a guy on the Heat. I've been liking his game. He's been balling. I just can't remember the name. You know, I don't watch too much of the Heat.
Oh yeah, do you know like what position he plays?
He's been playing pretty much the small forward, 2 guard, and he's been playing a little point.
Okay, because are you talking about Max Strus?
Not Strus. So he might be a small forward because he's lanky, great defense. He can shoot the 3. He can go to the lane. He's a good player. He's I think an X factor for the Heat.
Okay.
I just need to get his name.
Yeah, they got Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Nikola Jokic. Kevin Love is actually on the Heat now. Caleb Martin.
Martin? No, not Martin.
Duncan Robinson, Omar Yurtsevin, Gabe Vincent is probably who you talk about, or Cody Zeller.
It might even be Martin.
Or they got Orlando Robinson, Duncan Robinson, but Duncan Robinson is mainly just like a shooter.
Yeah, I think it might be Martin. Martin's been playing very good.
Yeah, Martin is a good defender. And then also Gabe Vincent, but he plays point guard. He's been shooting pretty good for the Heat. So I would say, so it looks like you got the Knicks in 6. I'm gonna go with the Heat in 7 for that series. So let's go on to what'd you say?
I said cool. That's cool.
All right, cool. So let's move on to the next one. Now, The Sixers and the Celtics. That's a tricky one.
Wee.
You know why? Because and this is supposed to happen. The game one is going to be Monday at 4:30 p.m. But Joel Embiid is most likely out for game one.
Wow.
Yeah, he has something going on. They're not really letting on to how serious the injury is, but he did sprain his LCL in his knee.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know this for sure. Without him, there's no chance of beating Boston. No chance.
You don't think
no chance. No, not Boston. Boston's playing
Boston
very
is
good basketball right now. That's the same team from last year. They got their souls ripped out by the Warriors. They are a hungry team. They right now, they're a team that's coming for blood. And I think they really want to wipe this series out. They got a pretty much cakewalk all the way to the finals.
Yeah, like I said, especially if Embiid is out, James Harden is not that guy to just lead this Sixers team by himself.
There you go.
He's not the James Harden in Houston. And even the James Harden in Houston, he had a lot of complimentary pieces around him. He had Chris Paul for the nights that he was off. He had Clint Capella, and he was surrounded by shooters. So even when he drove, he just kick it out to very proficient shooters.
Yeah.
Now they have and they have a similar team like that in Philly, you know, when they got Tobias Harris, Tyrone Maxey. They have some good players around him. It's
right.
Just
once you take him out of that equation, that becomes that's all they're gonna be doing all game is shooting threes. That's it. Correct. They're gonna be driving to the lane trying to kick for threes. They're not gonna have no post presence at all. I mean, you know, that's their advantage right there. Embiid. That's the reason why they could possibly go to the finals, because they have Embiid, and if he's healthy, I don't even think Embiid has got to be at least 80%. You know, I've never seen him play well hurt. So
yeah, I know what you're saying. And what do they say? You live by the three,
die by the three, man.
So with the Sixers, sometimes they are just like literally just like jacking up threes left and right. And I'm trying to figure out, like, bruh, where is y'all offense? Like, where is the moving parts? And with James Harden, all he does is play like a lot of ISO ball, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that stuff was cool when he was with the Rockets. That ISO ball is not gonna cut it as they start to progress in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, they don't see that right there. This the version of Philadelphia is best when they kick it in and kick it out. But you're kicking it in to Embiid, who's almost unstoppable.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I mean?
If he's hobbled, now we talking about a different Embiid.
Different Embiid. I mean, you know, I think there's ways they could get him the ball, you know, get him a little closer to the basket. He always likes to get it high posts around the free throw line. They're going to have to get him down a little closer. And, you know, that's the name of the game that they go with. The driving, the post, old Hakeem Olajuwon, kick it in, kick it out. You take that away, I think they're going to have a field day getting to the basket, Boston.
Yeah, absolutely, because who else are they going to have that's going to defend the paint efficiently? And look at Embiid right here. He not only does he draw a bunch of defenders, he also gets defenders in a lot of foul trouble. Now, he does have a kind of floppy type of game that's kind of annoying, but he is one of those big dudes that he gets fouled a lot and he flops a lot. So once you couple that together, he's getting to the line at double digits almost every game.
Pretty good free throw shooter too. Pretty good.
Correct. But not only that, it's putting the pressure on your defense.
You
know what I'm saying?
That's all gone. I mean, we need him. You might give one away, but he's got to come back game two. Without him in this series, It'll be a cakewalk
It's gonna be a sweep.
to play whoever wins against Miami and the Knicks. I just look at I look at that conference. Boston is theirs to lose.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. They're actually already have Boston as the favorites to win it all. So now I'm not saying I agree with that because I'm trying to have the winner come out the West, but they are saying Boston is the favorite, and I think based on what we just described, I think it's appropriate for them to be the favorite. They were just in the finals. They pretty much have the same team that they do now. So
now you put Brogdon on that team.
Yeah,
now you got somebody who can really handle the ball.
Brogdon
take that pressure off Smart.
Yeah, because Smart won Defensive Player of the Year last year, so you got a Defensive Player of the Year last year, and then you got another solid defensive stalwart in Brogdon, and Brogdon can handle the ball and he can hit the three. So,
and now you got now Smart. You can really focus on defense. You don't gotta be the guy to bring it up to all the time. So they're a very full loaded team. Like they know what they got. That coach, he just missed out on a very good team.
Yeah, well, shout out to Ime Udoka because he did get another job. He's going to be the coach of the Houston Rockets.
Shouts out, man. Landing a new job, man, because you are a good coach.
He's a great coach because you got to give him, because Brad Stevens, right? Brad Stevens, they were praising him like, oh, he's such a good coach, but Brad Stevens really didn't do anything. He got them with a good record, right?
Yeah.
But nobody cares about participation trophies in the regular season. So Brad Stevens didn't do anything in the postseason. And then Ime Udoka, first year, he takes that same team and goes where? The NBA Finals. Brad Stevens didn't do that at any time. And he got a multi-year deal. Not only that, he got a good job. I think he was like their GM or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so he still actually was kind of promoted. Now, people that don't look like us don't get that benefit of the doubt, but that's a separate discussion. I thought the Nets actually should have hired Udoka, but they were worried about the optics, saying, "Oh, right. He just got caught with a scandal or something."
Well, we do know this. There's a lot of people in the Celtics organization that really love him. You know what I mean? So he got him a new job, man.
Somebody's wife.
He's got some fans over there. Okay.
Yeah. Only fans.
You got some only fans over there, man. You know what I mean? But he deserves it. He needs to get. I think he's gonna build. What team did he go to?
The Houston Rockets.
That's a bunch of young players, kind of similar to Boston.
Correct.
I think in the years to come, he might build something over there, man.
I think he will, because he's a good coach. He has championship pedigree. So I think that was a solid pickup for the Houston Rockets off top. And then currently, what we got going on right now, let's just talk about what's going on currently. The Nuggets versus the Phoenix Suns. So that game is actually currently taking place, and it looks like it's kind of even. Let me check the score. Let me just check the score on that one. It's actually 32-31 right now. Phoenix is up, and it's the end of the first quarter. So it's a very evenly matched game. Kevin Durant is cooking. He already got 15 points after 12 minutes. Booker got 8 points and 5 assists. So it looks like it's going to be a long series. But then this is a battle of the stars. Booker and Kevin Durant versus Jokic and Jamal Murray.
Yep.
Jokic already has 9 points and 8 rebounds. And Jamal Murray has 10 points and 2 assists. So
I want to know what is because they got an X factor over there on Denver. That I think that small forward over there,
Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, I knew you would. He could be that other because you know that matchup too. The matchups you just said, those are good matchups, but it's got to be a third guy.
Correct.
Third guy, and I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to step up a lot more.
Don't sleep on Aaron Gordon too. Aaron Gordon can be an X factor for them as well.
Yeah, very experienced.
I think Michael Porter Jr. is more, well, he could be more of an X factor just because he has a little bit more ability. He can put the ball on the floor better.
And I call him the X factor, not to cut you off. I only call him the X factor because he's got to show up. It's his time now. This is the time where we're gonna see, can he step up? Because he's got all the praise, he's got all the projected variables that make him a top player in this league. This is a great opportunity because those names you already named are gonna get theirs. They're gonna get theirs every night. One of them is gonna get slow. He's got to be there to step it up, and he can do it. I don't think there's nobody over there on that team can really handle him now. But they traded away all the defense, so they're just here to play open gym. Suns, it's like, let's just run it up, shoot your shot. Your turn, my turn.
Yeah, now I hear you. But in an open gym setting, who do you think is more equipped to win that matchup?
You know, I like the Suns, man. I mean, if you got them two cooking, you're gonna need some help somewhere. But I really like Denver, bro. I really do. I think they're too complete because you got Jokic from the inside, and then you got two people who can hit you from the outside also. So that's that triangle right there, to where it's like, I think in the fourth quarter, when shots start getting short, they could dump it down to Jokic and get some foul trouble. Okay, Kevin Durant, you're going to have to stick Jokic in. Yeah, you're going to foul him up. You know? And who's going to stop Murray? Because please don't say Chris Paul. Chris, hell no. He ain't got it, man.
You don't think he got it?
I mean, he could play with Booker and Durant on his team. Yeah, of course he still got it. He could go run point over there. You got two hogs over there. You got two gunners. But 7-game series, Chris Paul's got to come with a 20-point. In this series, he got to come with a couple of 20s or 18s. Well, they're cooked.
Yeah, no, I agree. So you see, it's like very even, and we talked about the X factor for Denver being Michael Porter Jr. I think Chris Paul has to be the X factor. Really, the X factor should be DeAndre Ayton, but I think that the X factor is, well, what I'm saying is, I think the X factor could be DeAndre Ayton, but it should be Chris Paul, because DeAndre Ayton is just going to get his numbers just based off him being a 7-footer and he getting cleanup boards. But Chris Paul actually needs to be the X factor. He should take pride and say, you know what, I'm still that all-star. I'm still this perennial, elite player, and he got to show these boys up.
Hey, that would get him in the record. That would get him in the books as the greatest point guard ever if he did that. But he's gonna have to, because like right now, Murray could come. Murray is cooking. He's coming downhill. He's hitting from the three. He can kick it to Murray. You got Gordon.
He hitting fadeaway shots. Yeah.
Come on, man. They got a very good team. And Jokic, don't get it twisted. Jokic could go for 30 and 20.
Correct.
Easy.
30, 20, and 10 assists.
And 10 assists. Easy.
Leave that out.
So,
and he does it like kind of effortlessly. You be looking like, man, I ain't like Jokic ain't doing nothing. And then I look at the stats, I'm like, bruh, he already got a double-double. Like,
well, I really think the only team that can play with Denver in the 7-game series, it's only two teams. I think the Lakers and the Warriors. The Warriors because of the experience, but the Lakers because of they match up well.
They match up well with
I think
Denver, and for
they,
some reason,
yeah,
they're always like the Denver's kryptonite. Denver be balling, but then when they kind of run up against the Warriors in the playoffs, they literally just get buzzsawed
yeah. Like I don't know what it is. It's like they're
every
gonna do.
time.
You see that? I see that myself. I was just like, whoa, this is not the team I was seeing.
Yeah,
You know, I'm happy. Like, whoa, where they at? Jokic always balls out, but you got to remember, we beat them last year, and it took every bit of what we had,
yeah.
and they didn't have
And
Murray.
yeah, Murray
And
was injured the whole year last year, but Jokic was balling.
he was
He
balling
was
every
balling
game.
every game.
He had a. That's one of them series where you go down in history. Like, yeah, I played. We lost, but look at my numbers. Like one of those. Like, and Michael Porter Jr. was also hurt.
He was injured. Yep, he was
So
down.
you take them two out of the equation, and we barely won that series. I think we might have won it 4-2, maybe, but that's a different team, man.
Well, speaking of 4-2, the Lakers had, when the Lakers won the chip in 2020, they had won 4-2. The only reason why they won 4-2 is because Denver was actually beating the Lakers in LA, and Anthony Davis had to hit a buzzer beater. LeBron drove it, and you know how LeBron be. He kind of, when it's at the game winner, he'd rather like jack up a fadeaway shot than drive to the basket because he's kind of scared to have to hit those clutch free throws. This is just my belief. So LeBron, he did make a good basketball play, but LeBron drived it and they double teamed it. And then he kicked it out to Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis hit like a fading away super deep three. So that series was closer than it was. But once Anthony Davis hit that buzzer beater, they were kind of like demoralized, and the Lakers went on to win that series 4-2. So that's what I'm saying. And then even the years before, when they had Kobe Bryant and playing against Carmelo Anthony, they had J.R. Smith, Kenyon Martin, Allen Iverson, Marcus Camby. The Nuggets had squad, bro.
Yeah.
But every time they play the Lakers in the playoffs, they kind of always get buzzsawed. But this year, I do agree. The only teams that I think could beat them, I mean, actually, I think Phoenix Suns could beat them. I do think Phoenix Suns could beat them. I think the Nuggets actually should win this series. So let me ask you this: who do you think is going to win the series, though? Not who should win the series, because based off on paper, the Nuggets should win. They're the higher seed, had the better record, been more consistent. But Phoenix did go to the finals 2 years ago. So Shetty, who do you actually think should win the series and is going to win the series, and how you calling it?
Well, first of all, I really believe Denver's going to win the series. I think they're a better team. I think that you do have two unbelievable players on Phoenix that can win you some games. They can win you some games. They can get you some series. But with this team right here, I think Denver is, you know how the NBA is when it's always a team, before they win it, they just keep getting better and better and more experience, and they've went through it. Jokic, he's been through it. They've been through the downs. I think this is one focused team. I think it might be a crash course. It could be. They remind me of Boston in the way they kind of looking at these playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, I know Denver feels like they should be beating this team. You know what I mean? They feel like that. Now, the points are going to be scored with Phoenix. They're going to be scored. You got two all-pro, you got two all-world shooters on the team. It's just about, it's at the end, the fourth quarter, those little plays. I think when you got a big man like Jokic and you got the parts around him, it's going to be a little too much.
Got you. So how did you say you was calling the series?
I'm going to go 7 with this one. I'm going to go 7-game series with this one, just because there's too many unbelievable players in
Yeah,
in the series.
I got you.
Like, I think it's gonna be a exciting series. The numbers is gonna be high, and it may every game pretty much may come down to the last 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. So before I bring in our next guest, I just want to put it up. Denver looked like, hey, they heard you, doggy. They heard you. They said,
Hey,
all right. They trying to respond. So
they got a
current,
bench over there, man. They got a bench over there, man.
their
They
bench
not
is
just
highly deep.
they just don't got a starting five over there. They got at least like they can go 8-9 deep if they wanted to.
I mean, I don't know. You saying they don't have a starting five? Let's see. Because right now, I told you Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is cooking right now. 16 minutes, 13 points, and 1 rebound. Nikolai Jokic, 9 points, 8 rebounds. Michael Porter Jr., 9 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 3 points. Jamal Murray with 10 points and 2 assists. They got Jeff Green, Bruce Brown Jr. Pretty much, they got Thomas Bryant, who was really good for the Lakers, but he ain't even getting no play. Ish Smith is a good backup, but he ain't been getting no play. They got Reggie Jackson from the Clippers.
So they probably got going like 8 deep, 7 deep.
Yeah, they're going like 8 deep. They are deep. They are deep. I just don't know if they're as deep as the Suns. But the Suns, even though they're deep, sometimes the depth don't matter because you only play like a certain rotation, right?
And they have no defense.
Yeah, so they condense it down because the Nuggets. Let me see who the Nuggets got. Just give me 1 second. The Nuggets are DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Josh Okogie, Torrey Craig, Landry
You mean the
Shamet.
Suns, dog? The Suns.
I mean the Suns, my bad. Damian Lee, Bismack Biyombo, Terrence Ross, Cameron Payne, TJ Warren, Darius Baisley. Like these are all
man. That bench don't sound as strong, man. That's a little lightweight bench, man. The Suns is all about that start five, bro. I'm telling you.
I think the Suns got a better bench than the Nuggets for sure. But I would say that the Nuggets starting five. I mean, you can make an argument that the Nuggets have a better starting five, though. You know what I mean? So. But that's just that's a debate for another day. But it says it looks like you got the Nuggets over. I'm going to go just instinctively. I think Phoenix should be able to pull it out because with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, that's just a crazy amount of firepower. Then you got the veteran leadership of Chris Paul. DeAndre Ayton is a stud down low. And
he's not a stud, bro.
He's
not a stud, bro. He's tall, but he is not a stud.
You hating on Aiden? You like Aiden, bruh? Aiden,
I don't know, man. He's not no force down there, like.
Cause he averaged 18 and 10. What are we talking about here?
Man, as big as he is, man, you telling me he ain't? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't see it with him, man.
Shetty, don't.
I see the garbage points he get, but I don't see.
Shetty.
I ain't putting him in my top 5 for big men or my top 10. Come on,
are you serious right now? He averages 18 and 10 on 58% shooting. He's way better than Looney.
Didn't his coach just tell him last year, you motherfucking quit on me? You remember he said that?
Yeah, Monty Williams.
He came off the floor and then he turned around and said, F you. He can soup, man. He should be better than he really is. You know what I mean?
Wow.
For real.
Crazy, bro. You tripping. You saying DeAndre Ayton is
man, he's supposed to be dominating. But he's not that guy. He's not that guy.
18 and 10 on 58% shooting is not dominating?
Bro, come on. He's getting screening rolls. He's going to do that. He should be averaging 25 and 15 or some shit like that.
I ain't gonna hold you on that, but we ain't gonna gloss over the 18 and 10. You trying to act like it's this.
But look, bro, he's getting the pick and rolls from Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and Kevin Durant. Shit, wouldn't wouldn't Howard do that? Wouldn't Vlade Divac to do that? You know what I'm saying?
Now you're going a little too far with the
I'm
Vlade.
just saying.
Interesting.
Vlade go hard, bro. Vlade got spice, man. You gotta leave Vlade alone, man.
Yeah, no, I mean Vlade is a legend, but you going a tad bit too far.
I'm just saying DeAndre Ayton ain't a stud. Like, he's not like a force. He's just a good center in the NBA. He gonna get his bag. And
wouldn't that represent a stud? Someone that's good in the NBA? Like, come on, what we talking about here? I'm not saying like he's an all-star game breaker Hall of Famer. I said that he's a stud. Hey,
I got you. I took stud a little too. I thought stud meant something else. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What for my definition? Let me just clarify. My definition is that maybe okay, so who would you call a stud? So that way I can see where you're coming at with it. If DeAndre Ayton is not a stud, who is a stud at the center position?
All right, the center position in the NBA.
Besides Jokic.
Studs, like when I was younger, the studs was like, these dudes they dominating. These dudes is over all the other dudes who do what they do. So you go with AD, you go with Jokic, you go with let me see. I don't know too many other, but that level, those two, that level where they could just completely. You could even put Embiid in there. You know what I mean? Because he could totally.
You gotta put Embiid in there.
You put Embiid in there, like they totally, and they big. They 7 foot. They 7 foot for something. They taking it over. Like this dude he's got all the measurables, bro. Why you don't have no jump shot by now? I mean, no turnaround jump shot, no little baby hook, like. You should be getting 18 and 10 is cool when you getting pick and rolls from some all-stars, Hall of Famers. Feel me? He's supposed to be dominating. Everything come off the rim. He's supposed to be yanking that, put back. He's supposed to be at least 25, 20, 24, and 15.
So you saying this number should look more like Embiid's?
I mean, with the team he can't have too many touches.
That's what I'm saying. You got to factor that in, Cuddy.
So them boards got to get higher. He can't be having no 10 boards, bruh. Look how small Draymond is. He be getting like 8.
Yeah, Draymond is super undersized. Draymond is only 6'6".
You let Draymond be his size. Draymond average 18, 19 boards a game. He don't got the Mamba. He don't got the fire. He don't, you know what I mean? Everybody don't, but he doesn't either, bro.
So Draymond averaged 7.2 rebounds this season.
And he like 6'8"? 6'9"?
I think he's 6'6" actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you telling me this dude who's 7 foot, only averaged 10 boards, bro? Get in the paint, bro. You ain't getting no plays ran for you.
And DeAndre Ayton, he's only 24 years old, and Draymond Green is 33. And DeAndre Ayton is 7 foot with a 7'6" wingspan.
Man, I'm picking Draymond. If he coming with me, I ain't picking Ayton. I don't like his game, bro. He's not hungry enough for me, man.
Yeah,
you gotta be hungry down there.
I see what you're saying. He does seem a little bit mentally soft, so I won't hold you on that.
So he can't be a stud. Like, you can't be a stud, bro. You can't be a
stud. So what would you classify him as then?
He's a good NBA center who's still developing.
He's a starting player, a developmental
player in the NBA. He can play on a multitude of teams.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a home. Like, I don't think he's gonna be in Phoenix for 15 years.
Okay, I got you. I'm not even gonna hold you with that, bro. So let's go ahead and get our other guests in. Mr. Best, what's up, bro? How you doing?
What's going on, fellas? Salute to Shetty. Salute to you. B-Eazy, what's going on? Marcus, what up, baby? I see you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Look, number one, shout out Lakers, man, for getting it done. Lakers getting it done last night in spectacular fashion. Know what I mean? That defense was prime and ready. Know what I mean? Was getting in that ass. You know what I mean? blocking shots, all that, dunks, everything, man. It was incredible to watch. I was amped. You know what I mean? You know, I was like, man, either we gonna show up tonight or it's just gonna be a wrap for us. And we damn sure showed up. So salute to my Lakers, man. We going to round two. Feel like a fucking dream, but I'm glad we're going to round two, man. God dang, about time. Man, these last 2 years have been hard just watching LeBron not make the playoffs and shit. That shit been crazy. But yeah, man. I'll say this, man, as far as like the whole Suns and Nuggets joint. I got the Suns in 6. I just feel like the KD factor is gonna be a little too much for him to handle. You know what I'm saying? And you know, KD gonna get his, man. That's just what it's gonna be. Devin Booker definitely gonna get his. I like the Nuggets; they're a lot deeper, but you know what I mean, the Nuggets kind of remind me. This the only thing I think about them, and this is why I think they may have a chance. They remind me of that Dirk squad that beat Braun and Kobe in the same year. That was like 2011, I believe. They kind of remind me of them a little bit. You know what I mean? That old school Mavs squad.
Yeah,
That Mavs squad was crazy.
yeah, they just had players. They had all type of players on that squad. I remember that squad. Like,
They had Jason Kidd, JJ Barea, Tyson Chandler.
yeah,
Bruh,
like, they just come
bruh.
out the woodworks like
I-
the players of that team.
Jason Terry, I was pissed that series, bro. They lit the Lakers up, but then they lit every team up. Nobody could have stopped Dirk Nowitzki that year. He literally was just off one foot, just banging threes left and right, bro. I just had to add that in. Go ahead, Mr. Best.
Only thing is that they're not that defensively sound, so their defense ain't that astute. And to me, you know, I like Jokic, but Jokic at times, like even in the last series, like even with Minnesota, they just undisciplined. They're young, so they're able to take advantage of that. But a disciplined team that really know what they're doing, they can beat Denver. That's the only thing. Denver don't have enough. They don't have enough. Like, I don't want to say heart. You know what I mean? But they a team that's kind of built around like solid players, but they don't really have like that extra push. Like, it's
I
like,
can
yo,
see
okay,
what
when we
you're
see
saying.
like when we get in here, yeah, when we get in here, like we gonna shut people down. Like, they don't have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And teams are not afraid of them. Like, they're not afraid of them. Like, when they see them, they're like, yo, we could beat them. You know what I'm saying? They're not like a Boston. Like, when Boston come through, you know it's time. Like, you know, you better get ready because it's about to be on. Nah, but with them, like, you don't feel that way. You're like, yeah, we could beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Yeah.
just what it is. But they do have a solid team. The second round is gonna be even more crazy than this first round. First round was crazy, but the second round about to be super lit. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be a fucking battle. I think that game tomorrow probably may be like either overtime or double overtime. You know what I mean? And it's either gonna be the changing of the guard or it's gonna be the Warriors gonna remain top. So we're gonna see, man. You know, if the
Yeah.
Warriors still got it, or I know Marcus. I know you hate hearing that, Marcus, but it's the truth, man. It may be a new powerhouse in the. Oh, I'm sorry, it may be a new powerhouse in the West, man. So yeah,
I feel that right there, man. Like, just from watching the Lakers I feel like from watching the Lakers from when after the trade to now, uh, they got it. They got everything. You know what I mean? But D'Lo got to play like that. If AD does what he does, they got a shot to win any series. You know what I mean? Period.
AD had
He's like,
26 blocks against Memphis, bruh. If he plays like that, and actually he kind of stunk it up for at least like 2 games, but
he did.
still defensively, 26 blocks in a 4-game series is just completely surreal. And like you said, the problem with AD is that when he plays like a stud, nobody can beat him. The other time he's playing like he should be in the G League.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like, and I look at him, it's like sometimes I feel like it's because you notice he doesn't have any muscles. Like bro, like you gotta
That's why
give
he
him
don't
a
like.
gym.
He's supposed to be a center, but he plays 4 because he don't like banging.
Man, you see what happened when he down there? They look like no team can stop him when he get on that post
And
and do one of them moves. It's
that's kind of
over.
why they was trashed last year because they they didn't want him. They didn't want to not play him, right? I mean, they didn't want him to not. They wanted him to play center, but he didn't want to play center, so they kept putting him at 4. But then they had to put Dwight Howard and other people at center. When AD plays center, because he could stretch out and hit the 3, he makes it super like very difficult for defenses to match up.
Right.
And it's just kind of like Jokic, right? Jokic will bang you out on the paint, but he's really proficient at hitting the 3, so you have to respect him everywhere.
Everywhere.
And AD, he wants to just kind of hang out and do these little dribbles and then do fadeaways. It's like, bro, you're like 6'11", bro. There's no reason for you to be out covering around the 3-point line. And that's what I don't like about AD is he settles for jump shots too much. When you look at somebody like Draymond Green, who is less skilled than AD, Draymond is like, whoever the center is, I'm banging with him. And AD is like, no, I don't want to bang.
Yeah, the days he bangs, when he, like I always say,
I can't feel my arm.
AD should really average like 30 and 18 a game.
Yeah, Shaq said he should average 35 and 15.
Wow, see, and Shaq been in it, bro.
Yeah.
I had a feeling, I know it. Like I see what he's saying. Like with his skill set, he's supposed to dominate basketball. Period. Like period. He got all the moves. So he just, that's some people don't got the Mamba in them, bruh. You know what I mean? Sometimes it be dudes like what's his name? Beverly. He got the Mamba in him. But he like what, 5'11"?
Like barely 6 foot.
He barely 6 foot though.
But yeah, if you could put Patrick Beverly hard or even Russell Westbrook hard in AD, he'd be a monster.
Come on.
And that's actually why even though Draymond Green, I'd be like, bruh, you need to control yourself. But I do like the fire that he has, because if no player on your team or the Warriors team has that fire, then
you know who I've been seeing play with the fire though?
Who?
Baby Drake, Tatum.
Yeah, Tatum.
He's been playing like
how he closed out the Hawks.
Oh my goodness, bro! I seen the Mamba in him. A little bit of Mamba started seeking out. Like he was like,
and Kobe was training him, right?
Huh?
Kobe was training him, right?
Wow.
He was before he passed away. And speaking of that, the Lakers had a chance to draft him. They had a chance to draft De'Aaron Fox. They had a chance to draft Donovan Mitchell. And you know who they got?
Who?
Lonzo Ball.
Dang. And all of them still in it. Where's Lonzo Ball at? Is he in the league?
Yeah, he with the Bulls, but he's missed 2 years because he might have. You know who Brandon Roy is?
Yeah.
I think Lonzo might have a degenerative knee issue. So they're saying he might not really ever play again. Or if he does, it's kind of like remember when Kawhi was with the Spurs and then he was out for like 2 years and then they traded him to the Raptors.
Yeah.
So he might need like another year to even get back. And mind you, he's already missed 2 full seasons. So yeah, unfortunately, maybe we've seen the last of Lonzo. I don't really know.
Shout out to Lonzo, man.
Yeah, shout out.
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, dude, like you ain't gonna, when you're looking at the playoff picture now, man, like it's only a few teams that you could really, really say is gonna really make it to that level. I think the Lakers got an edge too, because they got 2 dudes that been there already. You feel what I'm saying? So, and then with AD, when he locked in, if he stay locked in like this, we good. Like we stay locked in like this, we gonna beat everybody. You know what I mean? Because LeBron is gonna get stronger and stronger by each round. You know what I mean? Because he had an injury, so it's taking his body time to recoup. He is 38. You know what I mean? So, and he been playing in the league for 20 years. So that next series, Braun should look better. AD should be still locked in, and we're gonna look good. And our role players are starting to do what they got to do too. You know what I mean? If D'Angelo Russell could at least give us at least 18 a game, we solid. Like we solid. That 28 that he dropped the other day, or the 30, whatever he dropped yesterday, that's for every game. Yeah, that's not gonna happen every game. So like we just need to understand that. But at least he give us 18, we solid. Austin Reeves, he gonna definitely stay locked in. He is focused. He ready to play. He want to be out there.
The others.
The others, Austin Reeves is one of
and
them
Rui the bench.
guys.
Rui off the bench, Hachimura. That
He's
was
been
that's
balling.
like the best pickup that
Wow,
we
he's been
had, man,
balling.
off the bench.
And he
Yeah,
was trash on
man.
the Wizards,
Hachimura been
bro.
doing his thing.
Hachimura will have been the last two
He was
seasons.
unrecognized.
Go ahead, Mr. Best. I just want to say
Wizards.
Hachimura was trash on the Wizards the past 2 years. He got with the Lakers, and now I'm seeing him. His defense has been stellar. He's been hitting the long ball, and he's like 6'9",
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
big
been
out
banging.
there. He's big out there.
Yeah, so 6'9" is pretty big for a forward, and so they can kind of switch him and have him play center too. So I really do like the Hachimura pickup. And what was the final thing you was gonna say, Mr. Best?
Yeah. Nah, he always been nice though. It's just the fact that he was on the Wizards though. You know, it's the Wizards. So on the Wizards, they have a bad culture. They have weak coaching. Like they don't have nothing good on the Wizards at all. The only thing good on the Wizards is Bradley Beal, and that's about to be done with too. So, you know what I mean? Like it is what it is, man. Back the Eastern Conference, like I like the Celtics a lot, man. I think that whole Nick thing that people were jumping on, like they just need to they need to really wake up because that ain't gonna last but another round. They're gonna be done. Miami Heat definitely beating them, and then there's gonna be the Heat and the Celtics.
Hold on,
yeah.
you're talking a little spicy because you must not seen our. So my boy Shetty says he got Knicks in 6. He's going with the Knickerbockers. I said I had the Heat in 7. How are you calling it, Mr. Bass? How you calling that series?
And 6 or I got him at 6, man. I would say a gentleman's sweep, but it all depends on how Julius Randle looking. You feel what I'm saying? If Julius Randle ain't himself, they get out of there in 5. He able to play, it'll be 6. But yeah, man. Yeah, Bradley Beal is a monster though. He nice, but yeah, man. Like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna see with that Miami series, man. That Miami series is gonna be. I look forward to that next round with Miami and the Knicks. That's gonna be interesting. But that Celtics and who the Celtics play next series? It's them and who else?
Philly Sixers.
But I don't know. Embiid is hurt though, dog.
He's hurt. He's gonna miss game 1. He sprained his LCL in his knee.
Man, this dude Embiid always hurt, man. He always hurt, dog. He always hurt.
He literally, I love his game, but Embiid is always hurt. I can't even hold you on that one. And James Harden is a phenomenal player, but it's still not this.
Salute, Lady E.
Shout out to the lovely Lady E. Oh, is E a Celtics fan? Oh, I didn't even peep that, but then I see the green and white. Is she a Celtics fan?
Man, she a Pelicans fan, man. She trying to rep the Celtics. Now that her Pelicans ain't making. Get out of here, Lady E. We ain't trying to hear you. Sit back, enjoy your off season. All right, you're not playing right now. It's all good. Don't even trip. You know what I mean? Yeah, she'll be back next year.
Yeah, and actually the Pelicans should have made the playoffs, and they should have been a high seed. But due to Zion Williamson. Oh, hold on. She says, I'm first a Pelicans fan and a Celtics second. Well, if you got time, Miss Lady E, you can hit the link. But, this is Lakers all day over here. But I do like the Celtics team, the players on the team, not the actual team or the organization. And shout out to Great Pill Podcast. I don't know how versed you are with sports, but I mean, if any of y'all, I know my stuff. But even if y'all don't, and you're just a novice with talking sports, you can come on up. I think the link should be up there. The link should still be up there. But if not, let me just go ahead and share it one more again. If I know you and you all good, you can just come right up. If I don't know you, then, you might have to do some verification. But Marcus says the Great Pill Podcast, quiet up, hush. You said you don't watch or talk sports. And he says, I care not of sports. I hear what you're saying. And for me, I'm growing to care less and less about sports, but I still am a fanatic because I've been an athlete all my life. Still am very athletic, and I like celebrating excellence. So when I see people doing phenomenal, extraordinary things on the court or on and off the court, I gotta salute that. I don't.
Hold on, don't tell me you're having an Al Bundy moment, dog. Don't tell me you're having an Al Bundy moment, dog. The
Nah,
four touchdowns.
hey, I might pull up the footage. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Stay tuned. But yeah, so, and she says she always have and she always will be. You say you're a Pelicans fan first, but the Pelicans wasn't even the Pelicans. What were they before that? Were they the new what was they before? The Hornets. That's what they was. The New Orleans Hornets. Did you even know that, Lady E? Because the Pelicans is a relatively recent team. They was the Hornets before that, I think. Yeah, because Chris Paul used to play with them. Yeah, so. But shout out to Lady E. Oh, looks like she knew her stuff. Okay. Where's your jersey at? Let me see your jersey. But yeah, let's get in it.
She ain't got no Hornets jersey.
So it looks like the Nuggets is currently up on the Suns. They are playing in Denver. So it looks like the Nuggets are strong. And Lady E says, I knew that. Okay, she know her sports. We'll hit the link, Lady E. And he says, by the way, Lamar got paid. Shout out to Lamar Jackson. He got paid a record number. I think it was like 260 million, 185 million guaranteed. Shout out to Lamar. Then, of course, shout out to Tank Davis, Owen Garcia with a body shot, liver shot to be exact. And he says, let's go. Game 7, win or go home. Let's go Warriors. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one because Sacramento was not playing. I thought De'Aaron Fox was going to be a little bit more hobbled because of, I know he had like a fractured finger. But yeah, De'Aaron Fox was looking good. And they blew out the Warriors in the Chase Center. So the Kings are looking for real. And she said, it
was funny because that game was close, right? It was close, bro. And then all of a sudden, it was like the Kings was like, nah, like, we ain't going home, dog. We going home, but we not going home. You know what I'm saying? Like they made it known like we fighting for this. You know what I mean? So we gonna see, man. And it looked like the Warriors was frustrated too. They was very frustrated. They didn't they were trying to like figure things out. Draymond was yelling on the bench. I'm like, why y'all so frustrated? Like, yo, like y'all supposed to be the champs. Like, chill out. But yeah, they was definitely frustrated. You could see it, man. Like they was not themselves. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree with that. And she says New Orleans was originally the Jazz, which is now in Utah. Jazz was sold in 1979. And he says, what do y'all think of...
Hey, stop Wikipedia your facts, Lady E.
I know, Lady E. That's why I said you got to hit the link so we could test that knowledge in real time. But Lady E does know how to use Google, so shout out to Lady E for that.
Damn sure do. Lady Google, that's a new name.
Google E. Google
oh,
E.
Shit.
Shout out to Lady E.
Oh, damn.
And what do y'all think of the NFL draft? Honestly, I don't really care about the NFL draft. And she says you are a hater. But in terms of the NFL draft, I really don't care. But let's get into it. I happen to be a fan of the Raiders. They always kind of I hate when the Raiders have a high draft pick because they always make bonehead draft picks. that don't typically pan out when they draft high. Some of their better picks are people that get drafted later, later rounds. So let's see what we got though. Hold up. Let me just pull this up 1 second. Since he wants to know about the draft, who is your team that you like? But shout out to Bryce Young, Cali boy. You know, from SoCal, he went to Alabama. Grape Hill, you should probably love that. And actually, Grape Hill, ain't you in Alabama? How you talking about you ain't no sports and you in Alabama? You with the Roll Tide. My family is from Alabama, Tuscaloosa. But yeah, bro, you supposed to be around the Roll Tide? Like, come on, cuz, what you mean? That's kind of sacrilegious to say in Alabama that you ain't into sports. Roll Tide or not? Or are you saying that you more represent for Auburn? That can be a heated rivalry. But let's just see. So we got Bryce Young at number 1 out of Alabama. So he went to the Carolina Panthers. We got CJ Stroud out of Ohio State. He went to the Texans. We got Will Anderson Jr., edge rusher. He went to the Texans. And the Texans had the 2nd and the 3rd pick. I thought those were solid picks. Some people were saying that the CJ Stroud pick, they picked him too high. But the Texans like to have, and it's crazy because in the NFL, they used to say that, hey, Black people can't play quarterback. They don't have the mental aptitude to play quarterback. Black people are too stupid to play quarterback. Now, when you look at the quarterbacks, the best quarterbacks in the league are all Black. The things that the Black quarterbacks are doing, other non-Black quarterbacks can't do, which is why Lamar Jackson got all that money. Because some people are saying, oh, he's just a running back. Well, if he was a running back that can throw the ball accurately and proficiently, seems like every team is clamoring for that. And the draft will prove that for you. So let's continue. Another one of those running gun quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson out of Florida. He went to Indianapolis. Devon Witherspoon, a phenomenal cornerback out of Illinois. He went number 5 to Seattle. Paris Johnson Jr. out of Ohio State. Really big boy, really good offensive tackle. He went to the Arizona Cardinals. Tyree Wilson, another edge rusher from Texas Tech, went to the Las Vegas Raiders. I thought this was a very highly questionable pick. At number 7, they were better players on the board than Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson is a physical specimen. He has a immense athletic prowess. But there are other people that were better than him on the board. And the Lakers, why'd I say the Lakers? I meant to say the Raiders. See, I'm still in basketball mode. The Raiders already have good edge rushers. They are very, very thin in the secondary. So I thought they should have at least drafted an offensive lineman or a cornerback. But then number 8, we got Bijan Robinson, running back from Texas. And he went to the Atlanta Falcons. Jalen Carter. The Raiders should have drafted Jalen Carter if they was going to get a defensive tackle. He's from Georgia, the national championships. He went to Philly. And, Philadelphia Eagles was just in the playoffs. We got the offensive tackle, Darnell Wright. Out of Tennessee, he goes to the Chicago Bears. Peter Skorniski, offensive tackle from Northwestern. He goes to the Tennessee Titans. Jamar Gibbs, Alabama is always producing those running backs, so he goes to the Detroit Lions. Lucas Van out of Iowa, good, solid linebacker, great numbers. He goes to the Green Bay Packers. We got Broderick Jones, offensive tackle out of Georgia. He went number 14 to the Steelers. Will McDonald goes to the Jets. Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback, goes to the Washington Commanders. Christian Gonzalez was a solid pickup out of Oregon. 17 to the Patriots. Jack Campbell, linebacker, goes to the Lions. Kalijah Cansey, D tackle, Pittsburgh, goes to the Buccaneers. Jackson Smith Niheba, and he was a beast out there for Ohio State at receiver. He goes to the Seahawks. Quentin Johnston, Receiver TCU goes to the Chargers. Zay Flowers, receiver, Boston College, goes to the Ravens. Jordan Addison, I thought he would have went higher. I like Jordan Addison game. He's a receiver from USC. He goes to the Minnesota Vikings. Deontay Banks, cornerback, Maryland, goes to the Giants. Dalton Kincaid, tight end out of Utah, goes to the Bills. Mozzie Smith out of Michigan goes to the Cowboys. Anton Harrison, tackle from Oklahoma, offensive tackle, goes to the Jaguars. Miles Murphy, edge rusher out of Clemson, goes to the Bengals. Brian Breesy, D tackle out of Clemson, goes to the Saints. Nolan Smith, another solid edge rusher from Georgia, goes to Philly. And the final, I'm just reading off the first round, Felix Anudike Uzama, an edge rusher out of Kansas State. He goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. So that will wrap up your NFL draft, the first round. So I don't think there were too many. Let me see who were the winners and losers out of the NFL draft. I would say the Raiders kind of took an L simply because they had a high pick. But if their pick turns out to be better than he's projected to be, then it will be a win. I think it's just kind of to be determined right now. But so far, I don't see any team that's kind of stood out phenomenally to me in terms of them winning. But I do actually like them picking up Bryce Young for the Carolina Panthers. They are devoid of having a quarterback, so I think that was a solid pickup. But Marcus says, CJ Stroud is a dog. Marvin Harrison Jr. is my favorite college wide receiver. And most of y'all probably don't know his daddy, Marvin Harrison, who put in a whole lot of work for the Indianapolis Colts. Marvin Harrison was one of the greatest receivers this game has ever seen. I don't know if his son will be able to live up to that echelon because it's some big shoes to fill. But shout out to Marvin Harrison Jr. and Joey Porter's son. He got drafted too. And Joey Porter, I remember he was a beast for the Steelers and he won a championship. He did get drafted too. He says Matt Crosby is a monster. One of my favorite players to watch. Yep, I like Max Crosby. And they also got Chandler Jones, the brother of none other than John Bones Jones. Roderick Jones, who just won the national championship with the Bulldogs this prior season. And he said, man, Kincaid, who the Bills picked up, the Cowboys, as a lot of sports fans and analysts were saying they dropped the ball for not drafting tight end, hyped up star Kincaid. Now, I don't know if Kincaid is hyped up. I do think that his skill set would have been fit in seamlessly with the Cowboys because the Cowboys, they usually run like a tight end heavy type of offense, like Jason Witten, but Kincaid has a better, if you look on paper, he's a better specimen and has more athletic prowess than Jason Witten. And Jason Witten is a legend, a Hall of Fame player. So I don't think Kincaid is that right now. I don't even know if he would be able to live up to that. But just based on paper, I think they did kind of drop the ball on this one. But that kind of sums up, the NFL draft discussion right there, unless, y'all got any more questions. And then let's kind of chime back in and see what it's looking like for the other game. But hold on, we can't just gloss over that game last night because it's a lot of cats that was talking real greasy about LeBron, right? LeBron is too old. LeBron is washed up. A lot of stuff was said. People was barking. People was just putting no respect on LeBron's name simply because he's too old and he's playing in his 18th season. So what LeBron claps back with, it looks like maybe it's some rap lyrics, but he says, unlike you little beep, I'm a grown-ass man. Big shoes to fill, grown-ass pants, probably hustled with your pops. Go ask your parents. It's apparent you staring at a legend who put a few little beat in they place before they trying to eat without saying they grace before. Okay, LeBron is talking a little spicy, bro. And he already had another quote where he was saying, "Hey, if you see
That
me,"
was
and
that was a Jay-Z line too, though. By the way.
yeah, no, that's why I said I knew it was a rap lyric. I just couldn't really figure
Yeah.
which specific song it was. But he was also saying like, "Hey, if you see me tussling with a grizzly bear, don't help me, help the grizzly bear." You know what I mean? So he's doing a lot of little extra trolling because Dylan Brooks had a whole lot to say. He was saying, "Hey, LeBron is old. Unless he gives me 40 points, I don't care." You know what I mean? I'm not respecting him, etc., etc. Then we got John Morant saying, "Hey, I'm not even worried about the West. I'm only worried about the Celtics. I'm good in the West." And then you get bounced out in 6 games. So, I mean, you you got to be careful. You got to be careful. And don't let your mouth write a check that you know you can't cash. Dylan Brooks know he ain't like
Mm-hmm.
that. Dylan Brooks, bro, you are not like that, cuz. Let me actually pull up his stats just because I want to just be sure. I don't want to speak out of turn. I think that he is a
No,
good
no, you're not
defender.
speaking out of term. You good, bro. You good.
Yeah, so I don't want to let's see what he did, bro. So
I
he
mean,
averaged 14. He averaged
per game.
14 points a game. So that's it's not
Yeah.
bad, but it's like cuz like 14 points a game is not anything legendary. You know what I mean? So it's and for his career, he averages 14 and a half points a game. So that's pretty much on par with his career. Now, I'm not going to just like sneeze at 14 points a game. 14 points a game is solid for a role player. But LeBron is not a role player. So you're a role player trying to step to LeBron as if you're an all-star or if you're some elite level player. No, you're just a starting role player. And that's when people say, hey, kind of stay in your lane. Now, if he's been elected or selected to an all-star game, if they were able to beat the Lakers, if they actually make a deep run in the playoffs and get to, let's say, the Western Conference Finals, then he could probably chirp a little bit. Still, you got to win a championship because this is what's measured. Champions are measured by their hardware meaning a trophy. So Dylan Brooks is trying to chirp a little bit too much, knowing that he ain't done nothing yet. The Memphis Grizzlies has potential, but y'all know what potential is. Potential is something that you haven't done yet, something that you can predict will happen. They have the potential to win. They have the potential to do this, but did they do it yet? No. So you don't really know if they're capable of doing it. You're kind of assuming, hoping, and just having wishful thinking. Some would even call it delusions of grandeur. Because what have you proven? Nothing. You've proven that you can talk a lot, but you can't back it up. So, Dylan Brooks, be careful what you asking for. You biting off more than you can chew, and you are just simply not prepared for this. So let's see. And it looks like it's getting a little bit uglier for the Suns. So let's tap back in and see. And if anybody else wants to come up and chop it up, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna shut the stream down soon. I just want to get on here and rap with y'all for a little bit. Sportify Arena. This is another installment. But let me just try to check the score one more again. So hold up. 64-80. Not really looking too good. Not looking good at all for the Suns. But this is just game one. They are in the Nuggets home arena. And they say the series really doesn't start until the home team loses. And it doesn't look like the home team is losing right now, but the game is not over. They say the game is not over until the fat lady sings. And I don't hear the fat lady singing just yet. And this is not some insurmountable deficit. So I think that the Suns still have a chance to come back. I've actually just seen the Heat come back from 14 down in the fourth quarter against the Bucks, and they were able to close out that series. I'm not saying the same thing is going to happen here. I'm just saying stranger things have happened. So let's see what else we got. Was there any other sports news to cover? I'm trying to think. Game 7 tomorrow. Game 7 tomorrow. Lake Warriors versus the Kings. Man, I don't even know how I'm gonna call that game, because the Warriors, after the way they just looked in this past game, they looked completely and totally dejected, and the Kings looked very energized, and now they'll be in Sacramento. Plus, the former Warriors coach is now coaching the Kings, so it's a lot of extra motivating factors. Harrison Barnes won a championship with the Warriors, and they were like, thanks for your service, but we don't want to pay you. So it's a lot of storylines in this one. I would say if I had to put my money on it, I would go with the Warriors. But if they say you're only as good as your last game. So based on the last game, I could see why somebody would pick the Kings to close out the series. Game 7 is in Sacramento. But I just think Steph Curry is just too much of a dog, too much of a phenomenal player. And Klay Thompson is a phenomenal player. He's just very wishy-washy and inconsistent since he's made it back from his injury. They did win the chip last year, but this hasn't been the same Klay Thompson that we're accustomed to knowing over his very, very illustrious career. Draymond Green, I know Draymond Green is doing all of these like foolish antics, but they gonna need the dog Draymond Green out there. Because some of these players just don't have the heart. Some of these players don't have the fortitude that Draymond Green has. So the Warriors actually need him to kind of turn up a little bit. Don't get kicked out the game. Don't stomp on nobody. Don't nut punch anybody. But we do need to see a efficient Draymond Green on both sides. Defensively, he's always on point. But offensively, he sometimes disappears. So I think that if Draymond Green comes and shows, he could be the X factor. So it's up to the big three. It's really up to the two of the big three. I think Steph Curry is going to show up unquestionably. I don't know if Draymond is going to show up offensively. I don't know if Klay Thompson is going to show up at all. I believe that they will, because it's game 7 and they're used to having this type of pressure. And this is the first major series or the first playoff series that Sacramento has ever even been in, this team. And let me say this, if they are able to unseat the defending champs, this will be an impressive feat. They haven't been to the playoffs since I think 2005 or 6. So if they were able to knock off the defending champs in the first round, this will definitely be a impressive victory. And shout out to Mike Brown for getting Coach of the Year. It's well deserved. He got this team turned around. They went from being trashy, stinking it up the joint, to being the 3rd seed in the West. Quite impressive. So it looks like we don't have anyone else that is going to join the stream. So I do just want to give a shout out to everybody that slid through. Actually, I'm going to drop the link one more again. And if anybody wants to come up, but if nobody comes up in like the next 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and shut her down. But we were joined by It's a Hard Knock Life podcast. Shout out to Savage. Shout out to Rush. Knowledge and Relationships. Quantum Metaphysician. Marcus. Mr. Intellectual Soapbox. Lady E. The Gray Pill podcast. Yeah, and also the Brody Shetty came through, represented, said his piece. And so let me just go ahead and proceed to do the closeout. Last night was a great game. Dylan Brooks, I know you said you don't respect anyone until they give you 40. And the way you worded that was kind of vague. It sounded like you're saying you're not going to respect LeBron or any other individual player until they give you 40. Well, guess what? Y'all got a 40 burger last night put on y'all. Not LeBron individually scoring 40, but y'all getting blown out by 40. And this is a team that said they was good in the West. You ain't that good in the West if you couldn't even get out the West. Actually, hold on. Let me pull this up because he was chirping a little bit too much. So let's see if he gonna stand on what he talking about. Let's see.
There are people out there that say
and they started making a run.
There are some people. Lakers are making that run. They get it to 14. You and LeBron have that exchange. There are people out there that say maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. What were you thinking?
I don't care. He's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that.
I don't care. He's old. He was waiting for that.
I was expecting him to do that game 4, game 5. He wanted to say something when I got my 4th foul. Should have been saying that earlier on. But
Cuz you really poking out your chest like you a real dog out there,
I poke
cuz.
Bears. I don't respect no one until they come.
You poke bears
Give me 40.
and get eaten by bears. Eaten alive by bears. I don't respect no one until they give me 40. Bro, you've never dropped 40.
I pride myself on, what I do.
What exactly do you do?
Defense and taking on any challenge that's on the board. And they started making a run.
There are some people. Lakers are making that run. They get it to 14. You and LeBron have that exchange. There are people out there that say maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. What were you thinking?
I don't care. He's old.
Yeah, you wilding out, Dylan Brooks. You said you don't care that he's old, but you're young. He didn't care that you was young, and then y'all got ran out the gym. That's not saying this doesn't bode well for you complaining about LeBron saying, "Hey, I don't care, man. He's old. He got to drop 40 for me for him to prove himself to me." Dylan Brooks, have you ever dropped 40 in your life? Don't worry, I'll wait. You never dropped 40, but you saying somebody needs to drop 40 on you to prove that they're some sort of solid player? A feat that you've never done, a statistical milestone that you've never reached. You saying somebody has to reach that in order for you to respect them. Dylan Brooks, for your career, you averaged 14.5 points a game, which is nothing to sneeze at because you're in the league, the National Basketball Association, where the best players in the world are playing. But no one is revering you as one of the best players in the world. Well, actually you are, because you made it to the league, but no one is saying that you're in the top echelon of those players. LeBron James is, whether you like him or not, whether you think that he's old or not. Come on, bro, put some respect. Because if you're saying that we shouldn't have no respect for LeBron James because he hasn't given you 40, what type of respect should we have for you? Like Dylan Brooks, have you ever even scored 30 points? We shouldn't respect LeBron. You don't respect LeBron until he gives you 40, but you can't even score 30 points. Make that make sense, Dylan Brooks. And Ja Morant, from you doing this foolish stuff, tricking in excessive amounts of money in the strip club, which you should be protesting that strip club because they leaked private footage of you to make you look like a buffoon. Well, you did look like a buffoon. You made yourself look like a buffoon, and they just leaked the information out. You was throwing hundreds all over. It's like, Ja Morant, I'm not pocket watching. You can do whatever you want with your money, but you throwing money at scattered ass on some thoughts. But how much money did you sprinkle in the hood, right? You doing all these hip hop dances, right? He throwing up gang signs. How many gangbangers have you took off the streets and put on? I'm not saying this is your obligation, but I'm saying this is who you look up to, right? This is who you're influenced by. So if you want to be influenced by gangbangers and you over here stacking and throwing up signs and all that stuff, right? That's what you about, Ja Morant, right? You throwing up signs and hey, yeah, I'm supposed to do all this. Okay, cool. Show me some of those gangbangers that you put on. The ones that was bodying cats in the streets that you took off the streets. Show me the money that you tricked on them. because you showed me the money that you was tricking off in the strip club. You showed me that little pistol. Did y'all see that pistol that Ja Morant had? That was like a baby starter pistol. Actually, I probably would have rather had a starter pistol than that. If somebody pulled out that strap that Ja Morant had, I would have just took it out their hands. I'm talking about, bruh, it was like a Polly Pocket pistol. Like, bruh, if you gonna flex and you gonna pull out a hammer, pull out some big shit. So, Ja Morant, you are a phenomenal player. I love watching him play, but bruh, you got to unpack some things, bruh, mentally, because you're not going to be a leader when you too immersed in buffoon, let's just say, depraved and debaucherous activities. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to the strip club or anything like that. I'm just saying, bruh, there's bigger fish to fry. Bruh, any town you go to, you could bring the strip club to you. It's gonna cost you less money and you're gonna have a greater experience. So I don't get why these cats go and throw hundreds and thousands at these clubs, but won't even put $1,000 in the pocket of a poor gangbanger from the slum hoods that you grew up in. You'll put on a thought before you'll put on a brother. That don't make no sense to me, Ja Morant. So that's why I'm glad that Ja Morant and Dylan Brooks has gone fishing, not simply because of what I just laid out, simply because these dudes they needed to be humbled. They definitely needed to be humbled, and that's exactly what happened. They got humbled and now they gone fishing. So had to just end it like that, with the, But it looks like we were not joined by anybody else, and I might do another stream later, maybe a couple other ones, but I gotta head out. But before I do that, hold up. I'm gonna hit the outro, and if somebody want to hit the link in the 5 minutes that I'm playing this outro, we'll continue the discussion. Otherwise, this has been an installment of Sportify Arena, and you're gonna hear and see a lot more of this going forward. So just give me one moment, y'all. Let me just pull this file up, if I can find the file. Hold up. All right, here we go. Or maybe not. Now when I need the file, I cannot find it. Oh, here we go.
Boom! He's on his back. Hey, heck of a play! That is concentration. Hey, he'll remember that number. Amazing!
Hey, hey.